I just bought a new daily driver and it might be Honda's best kept secret. This is my new to me 2014 Honda Accord V6 6-speed. I bought this car for two reasons. One, obviously, as my new daily driver, the C63 didn't turn out very economical. So now I have a daily for the daily, but that's the first reason. Secondly, I really wanted to introduce a new series, a sort of build series attached to a specific budget. And so this car's budget is $20,000. The car has already costed me 15 grand, so we got $5,000 to play around with on this thing. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see from this series. We'll be doing a few different videos, so I've already bought a couple things that are going to be installed in the next video, but let me know what you want to see. In this video, I just kind of want to introduce the car, show you what I love about it, show you why I think this car is so much fun and why I think it's so underrated. Without further ado, let's hop in. I figured I'd do a bit of POV action for you guys too, to get a bit better of a sense of the driving experience. A little bit of tire spin. Obviously, being front wheel drive, you get that, as well as some torque steer sometimes. 278 horsepower, front wheel drive, it does get a bit of torque steer. But yeah, it's really a pleasure to drive, really smooth, easy to downshift, easy to stay up close to redline and really play with the thing. And yeah, the shifter, really nice, pretty short throws, nothing crazy, but feels notchy, feels short enough to enjoy it. I would say this thing's quite quick in the lower speeds. Once you're on the highway, I do start to notice it doesn't really pick up too crazy. We're at 4,500 RPM right now, and then flooring it starts to lose a bit of the torque. And it redlines at 6,800, which is right there. And yeah, super linear power. It just really wants to keep going. I need new brakes. That is one of the upgrades we're gonna have to do, is some new rotors. It feels like it wants to actually be up high in the RPMs, which is always, to me, a sign of a well-built engine. When it's happy being up close to redline, that's how you know you bought a good car. And this car is just that. Rev matching in this car is also a lot of fun. The throttle response is pretty sensitive, and just a tap of the throttle really revs up the engine quite nicely and makes it easy and rewarding to rev match when you're downshifting. Obviously, in today's day and age, sub 300 horsepower is nothing crazy, but I think for a Honda, that's pretty good numbers, and a Honda you can get with a 6-speed. What I love about this car, and what drove me to buy one of them, is reliability, but also power and feel. There's a couple cars I've owned that I kind of relate to this, or at least a couple experiences that guided me to go this route. One of them, which is probably going to make more sense, is my 2005 Jetta. I had a 2005 Jetta 1.8 turbo wagon 5-speed as a daily about maybe 2 years ago. I wanted a fun wagon, and I thought, it's a turbocharged Volkswagen, you know, I can mod it, I can make it fun, and I'll enjoy it. And I did that. I lowered it, I got some Aristo wheels on there, and it was a cool looking wagon, but I did not enjoy 4-cylinder turbo ownership. I just feel like I need more cylinders for myself, or at least, you know, obviously there's some pretty potent 4-cylinders nowadays, but that car wasn't a whole lot of fun. Another car that I relate to this, which is going to be a very strange comparison, is my old 981 GT4. Now, this didn't guide me to buy this, obviously, but now that I have this car and I've driven it a bit, some of its characteristics remind me of my GT4. I know that sounds very strange. I'm not saying an Accord drives like a GT4, but more so the feel of the linear power and also just the transmission. There's similarities there. I feel like it's almost the equivalent of Honda's GT4, of just a really fantastic car that does what you want. So going forward with this build, I feel like I'm not super drawn into doing big power mods because, like I said, I'm pretty happy with that. But what I do want to do is make this thing handle better. I feel like if I do a kind of focus on handling and those kind of mods, that this could be a really cool build. That's another thing that I'm not so sure I want to do is anything to the exhaust. I am open, if you guys want to see it, I'm open to looking into some options of maybe some exhaust that would drop weight a bit and not sound too obnoxious, but I don't want to be that guy with a loud Honda, so I might just leave that alone. But definitely want to touch up the suspension and maybe the sway bars and end links and stuff like that. So that was driving the Accord V6 6-speed. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it's a fun car. Before we wrap up, I figured it's worth going over the exterior and a bit of the interior in a bit more detail for you guys if you haven't really heard of or spent much time around the Accord V6. So I'll swing this around. Obviously it's nothing too crazy, but it's a pretty attractive coupe, I would say. They did make a sedan Accord, but you know, it's nice to have two doors. On this car, the doors are quite large, which is interesting. But yeah, it comes with these 19s on it at the moment. We'll have to find something to replace those with. Up front, it does have these LEDs, which are kind of cool and modern looking. The usual kind of Civic style front grille. Yeah, not a whole lot to talk about. Pretty plain, but you know, that's good. I don't want my Accord to be too complicated. The back view, I kind of like the rear end. I don't know why, it looks a little more aggressive than the front. The back end is kind of bulbous in a good way though. Obviously on the V6 you have dual exhaust exits. On the 4-cylinder you only have an exhaust pipe on one side. You get the V6 badge, Accord badge. That's essentially the exterior design of this car. Stepping inside, very much Honda in here, in a good way. Pretty modern for what it is. I guess a 2014 is pretty new, but nice gauge cluster, revs on the left, other stuff on the right. All actual analog gauges, which is always nice. Shifter here, which, like I said, feels really nice, really notchy, and yeah, it's stop button, push to start, which is nice. I don't really care. Double screen, whatever, climate control, whatever. Seats look nice enough. Obviously in the coupe, you have back seats that you gotta fold the seat down to get to. So this is the new daily, and it is the introduction to the $20,000 build series. So definitely stay tuned. Like I said, I think this is the most underrated, slept on Honda platform out there. I don't know why people are out there building Civics when you have a factory manual V6, 278 horsepower straight out of the gate. I think this is a no-brainer. So super stoked to have this joining the R8 and the C63. And yeah, I'm excited to start playing with it a bit and seeing what you guys think I should do to it in the comments below. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next videos. I have a feeling the next one will have to do with something down here. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next one.